Okay, in order to get the highest point in Africa, Uhuru Peak, the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, you need energy.
Welcome to the crown jewel of Africa, Mount Kilimanjaro, a towering testament to nature's grandeur. Its snow-capped peak touches the sky while its slopes encompass diverse ecosystems. We're continuing on this Kilimanjaro adventure, and if you haven't seen part 1, go and watch that now. I'm here with an amazing group of people raising money for Lion Aid, a phenomenal lion conservation charity, and I am the expedition doctor, and I've got one job: to get everyone up the mountain safe and alive.
Good morning, Jambo Poa. I'm having a beautiful breakfast here at Machame Lodge. A beautiful start to the day involves a big, fantastic breakfast filled with nutritious food: potatoes, yams, pancakes, beans, eggs. I've got my proteins, all my vegetables, and a few carbs as well to give me energy for the day. Filled with energy from the people here and the staff here, and the fantastic song that they keep singing, Jambo Buana. But that's another story. Let's have a great day.
Hey. Hakuna matata, tembea pole pole. Hakuna matata, wameanza na lemosho. Hakuna matata, mkubwa yamelala. Hakuna matata, Jambo Bwana. Zaina murembo, unayajua mengi, unafanya vizuri.
The first night before the trek began was an enthralling mix of excitement and anticipation. We're about to start climbing the mountain, but there's one huge problem. My kit bag didn't actually arrive.
At the Panone petrol station, we just managed to get a bunch of kit because my kit is still probably halfway in the air. Ethiopian Airlines, not quite here yet, or perhaps it's not coming at all, so we needed a plan B. That's what I love about these guys. They've always got a plan B. They've always got a plan B.
A beautiful, bountiful meal to celebrate the start of the trek. There's good spirits in the air, and I could eat like a horse. The first day led us through the enchanting forests where the colossal trees embraced us like old friends. What I love about the first part of this climb was getting to know the Action Challenge Tanzanians who were our stewards for the trek. All of them had such an infectious positive energy and were full of happiness. We make it to the first camp.
Hakuna matata, na sasa mti mkubwa. Hakuna matata.
As we settle in what they call Big Tree Camp, Joe gives us the do's and the don'ts of the camp. These are the toilets, which are supposed to be pretty posh for climbing. Toilet hygiene is pretty important, as you can see. As we settle in, we hear a beautiful sound coming from the edge of the camp. It's a party. This is the official welcome from the Action Challenge Kilimanjaro team, where obviously I had to do some dancing myself. They introduced themselves with an amazing ceremony. Introduction is really important because each of them have a vital role, and to be honest, they are the real lifesavers, as our lives are pretty much in their hands, so we're really grateful to them. Dinner time, almost a picturesque image of a candlelit dinner on a mountain, just how you would imagine. This is Peter. Peter is one of the Lion Aid charity champions, and he's actually a world famous wildlife photographer. Check his work out, he's done some amazing stuff. After dinner, I take an opportunity to run a mountain clinic where I have a chat to some of the trekkers about how they're feeling and any medical issues that are arising. Prior planning prevents poor performance, as always. It turns out some of the travelers are feeling a little bit sniffly, sneezing, and a little bit cold. My worst fears set in. What could it be? You know what I'm thinking about. C word. COVID. What happens if you're climbing up Mount Kilimanjaro and you get COVID symptoms? not anything good. So we do a COVID test. Fortunately, it's not COVID, it's just cold. So we'll monitor and we'll crack on. I leave my Masai shuka on my tent. So in an emergency, the travelers can easily identify that this is the expedition doctor's tent, and they can come and disturb me if they need anything at all during the night time. Time to wind down and make sure my medical kit is all in order. I check my watch to find out what my body's doing. 91% oxygen saturations. Interesting heart rate, 70. It's a bit higher than normal, which is normally 50. Low stress so far, apparently, and the altitude is 2,800, which is pretty accurate, to be honest. So I get comfy, I say a quick prayer to the Lord. Time to get my 8 hours sleep. Good morning, it's 5:47 a.m. It's a nice wake-up call from the Action Challenge team with a hot cup of Kilimanjaro coffee. I can't lie, I didn't sleep the best last night, but the coffee has got me feeling refreshed and ready for an amazing day. We've had a bountiful breakfast, even if it was in the cold, and we're ready to go. On day 2, we venture into the ethereal alpine desert zone, a stark contrast to the vibrant greens that we left behind on the first day. The landscape morphed into a surreal dreamscape with rocky terrains and shrubs defiantly braving the harsh conditions. The sky, a magnificent canvas of blue, seemed closer to our fingertips. Now, as we ascend, the air grows thinner, prompting each breath to be cherished. The sun unleashed its brilliance, somehow becoming harsher on our skin, making sure we're wearing our sun cream. The sun illuminates the rocky terrain and casts a mesmerizing shadow. If we did a laboratory experiment, we would find that our lungs are working harder, our hearts are working harder, our metabolic rate has gone up to keep us warm, to keep us cool, and we're using all the water in our system. It turned out that actually there was an outbreak of diarrhea the previous night. Not ideal, but there was a lot of diarrhea going around to keep people's electrolytes in check, because you can lose a lot through diarrhea.
Hi.
Commander.
Hey, how are you?
Commander-in-Chief, very good.
Doing great.
That's it.
So this is where it started to get a little bit harder. And this was only day 2. Altitude sickness started. A few of the climbers started to show mild symptoms, a whisper of warning from the mountain's unforgiving embrace. As the expedition doctor, my focus intensified, my watchful eyes ever vigilant. We dropped back and we went a bit slower to walk with the slower members of the group. And this is important because you're only as fast as your slowest member, and it's important to keep an eye on them. It actually came to pass that the altitude sickness was getting to dangerous levels for one of the incredibly brave trekkers. Things like dizziness, nausea, confusion started to make themselves more apparent. At this point, the answer was clear: oxygen and descend.
Where are we going to?
That's a long way away.
No, it's not. It's just around the corner. That's what I say to my friends when I'm late. It's just around the corner. As soon as we put on the oxygen, Helen felt so much better and was back to her jolly self, cracking jokes, smiling and walking. And this was so good to see. But unfortunately, whenever your altitude sickness gets to the stage where you need oxygen, it might be dangerous to continue. When we got to the camp, we gathered in a circle. Our voices, a symphony of encouragement, pride and celebration for the bravery of the climbers, especially Helen, who gave her absolute all in climbing to over 3,500 meters. At this point, to be honest, I'm struggling. Moments of doubt occasionally creep in. We couldn't stop anyway because it was in the middle of the night and there was no one around. So we had to make it to camp. My watch is telling me that my oxygen saturations is 78, not the best. In hospital, patients get tubated with saturations that are higher than that. Understanding the significance of acclimatization is important. We embrace the art of ascending gradually. Each ascent to higher altitudes allowed our bodies to adapt to the thinning air. Like a symphony slowly building to its crescendo, time spent acclimating became a dance with the mountain. Will we overcome acute mountain sickness and keep going? Will we overcome the harsh, cold weather conditions? Will we summit Mount Kilimanjaro and get to the top? Like, subscribe, and share, and find out in the next one.